GameMasters here, and I've been asked a few times to talk about the Dragon's Hoards, Lairs and Hoards that can be found in Fizban's Treasury of Dragons. So here you go. Chapter 4 details the Dragon's Lair and its Hoard. Now keep in mind this section is kind of intended for Dungeon Masters, but players are welcome to read it. And of course, watch this. And I'll explain why towards the end of this video. First off, Fizban's differentiates between a lair and a hoard. This seems to be fairly common sense, but in its most basic terms, the lair is the physical location where the dragon lives, while the hoard is the loot that lies within that lair. So let's take a slightly deeper look into what a dragon's lair is. And no, I'm not talking about that 1980s cartoon video game. When a dragon chooses a place to live, that location can literally ooze with magic. A dragon's lair is more than just a cave, it's more than just a home. It is a place of rejuvenation, where the land's magic can be at its peak. A dragon will choose a place of power, perhaps where the land's ley lines meet, or where a magical crystal lays buried and undisturbed. Some of these locations can easily be deep within a cavern, or could just as easily be within the ruins of a city or castle where a mighty magical battle took place hundreds or even thousands of years before. Fizban's Treasury of Dragons provides a table that allows DMs to randomly roll a Dragon's Lair's location, but of course a crafty DM can also create the location all on their own. It also talks about how a Dragon's Lair can have effects on the immediate area, and we're talking like a Dragon's Lair might cause all streams and bodies of water to turn to ice regardless of the air if the lair is located in a frozen tundra or in a warm tropical island. The lair might also manifest odd behavior in plants and plant life, causing the flora to perhaps move or change color and not allow things to hide behind them. Dragon lairs can also have the ability to alter the fauna of the area as well. Beasts might, on occasion, give birth to half-dragon offspring without having, encountered said dragon. Can you imagine a wild boar that's a half-dragon? You'd almost have a pre-cooked running barbecue on legs. Likewise, the area that the dragon chooses can also alter its magic. Just as the dragon's lair can affect and manifest odd things surrounding it, it can also have effects on the dragon itself. The dragon, for example, may become immediately aware of any creature that dies in the surrounding area of its lair, or it may become aware instantly anytime someone speaks its name. Lairs won't just force immediate alterations to pop up into existence, and generally when the surrounding area has started to display signs of being altered, pretty good chance that the dragon's already been there for a very long time. Now, dragon hoards, treasure, gold, gems, magic items, all the things adventurers try to plunder the Great Lair for. These all make up a dragon's hoard, but to the dragon, these things mean so much more. For a dragon, each item in its hoard is a focus, something that helps to hone the magic of the area to resonate it unto the dragon itself. Obviously, the larger the hoard, the more powerful the dragon can become. And it's a pretty good general rule that the larger the hoard, the older the dragon, and of course, the older the dragon, the more powerful the dragon. And the more tempting it is for our intrepid adventurers to attempt to plunder said hoard. Some older dragons have also been known to split their hoard among multiple lairs throughout the world in which they inhabit. While they are still connected to their hoard, they lose less power when a zealous adventurer does successfully plunder something from it. Some adventurers have made the connection and have found that by systematically removing items, gold, etc., from a dragon's hoard, can weaken it as more is removed, thus making said dragon easier to dispatch. One thing to keep in mind, a dragon's hoard is full of latent magic. Imagine a good bit of various magic items being gathered in one area for decades. Their magic properties can become intertwined and can even create or manifest new magical properties. Take a staff that used to grant the ability to block incoming missiles like rocks, darts, arrows, and a cloak that used to grant the wearer the ability to blend into their surroundings. say they were on top of each other, just sitting there on a pile of gold. Their magic abilities may have melded together, and those magical properties have turned into something that will now grant the wielder or wearer the ability to climb rocks at an unnatural rate. Of course, just as there are magical items in a dragon's hoard, there is also the distinct possibility that there are cursed items or even haunted items in it as well. And further, because the dragon is, in effect, connected to its hoard, when that dragon dies, it is quite likely that items within its hoard could also become cursed. Dragons are always on the lookout to protect their hoard, as there are many things out there that want what they have, either due to simple greed or because they crave the power of that item or items. But what's in a hoard? The last section in this chapter goes into various items that can be found within a dragon's hoard, from coins to other mundane items like a mirror or even a dog stick. Of course, gems, fine art, and other items of strange magic power can also be found within. Tables on pages 72 and 73 provide information on how to craft a hoard for a dragon in your campaign. Magic items can be found within the Dungeon Master's Guide or Xanthar's Guide to Everything, or really anywhere where Dungeons & Dragons magic items are listed. My overall takeaway on this chapter is very generic. It's more of a, we're going to give you some very general ideas to run with, but really keep in mind that this section is designed for the Dungeon Master, and I have a feeling that because of that, Wizards knew players would also be reading through this, so they made it as generic as they could, leaving it up to the crafty DM to make use of the information provided for their own world-building purposes. Now, what magic item or items would you expect to find in a lair of an ancient dragon? Let me know in the comments below, and until next our paths cross, may your hoard stay untouched.